If It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia wasn't so funny, it'd be one of the saddest shows in TV history, because the backstory of all 5 of these guys is so tragic that I would actually feel bad for them if they weren't such pieces of shit. But these guys are legit crazy people that make the lives of anybody that interacts with them a lot worse, and nobody's life has been affected more by them than Rickety Cricket, which in my opinion is the saddest story in comedy. This poor man has been getting tormented by the Sunny Gang since he was in high school. Cricket isn't even his real name. His name is Matthew Mara, but they called him Rickety Cricket because when he was in high school, he would have to wear these giant leg braces, so they gave him the nickname Rickety Cricket. Can you imagine being in high school, you can't even play outside and do regular teenage shit, but on top of that, your disability is highlighted with a nickname like Rickety Cricket? And the psychological trauma didn't end there. If Cricket ever passed out at a party, Dennis would teabag him, take pictures of Cricket getting teabagged, and then spread the pictures all over school. And to make matters worse, those pictures eventually started being spread throughout the internet. They also made him do fucked up shit, like he was in love with D, so they told him that if he ate a pile of shit that D would kiss him. So he ate the pile of shit, which like, please dog, like how desperate are you for real? But he ate the pile of shit, and when he did it, D refused to kiss him because, and I quote, his breath smelled like shit. Like, is that not horrible? That's terrible. That's some shit that follows you for the rest of your life. Despite everything that he went through, he was able to become like a well-adjusted adult. He got his master's degree in theology, he became a priest, like things got better for him. But that all went to shit when a water stain that looked like the Virgin Mary appeared in Patty's pub. So when he went to go see it for himself, the Sunny Gang tried to convince him to bless the stain, and he was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. So they told D like, hey, he was like totally in love with you in high school. Try to see if you can convince him to bless the stain. And she was like, no, I feel bad. Like, he's already been through so much. And they're like, yeah, you probably wouldn't be able to anyway because you're old and ugly now. And she's like, no, hold up, stop. Like, I could totally get him to bless that stain. And they're like, no, you're old and ugly now. And she's like, fuck you guys. Let me see what I can do. So she started to go around his job and like heavily flirt with him. And mind you, he was in love with this girl in high school. But even then he's like, no, I'm a priest now. Like, it's too late. Like, you had your chance and now it's too late. And she was like, I hate that. I wish I could have seen how much of a great guy you were in high school. And he's like, please stop. Understand, like, we cannot be together. It's too late now. But she kept pushing and being persistent until finally,
I'd like to ask for your daughter's hand in marriage.
Done.
No, okay, hold on one second.
Bless you.
Hold on. Okay. Did you just say that you left the priesthood?
Yes, I had to.
Maddie, wow, you should not have done that.
What do you mean?
You should go and undo that right now.
But you said that.
Yeah, I know what I said. I said there were a lot of things, and I meant all of them. I did, but the thing is, I didn't know you were actually gonna leave the church, which is why I felt safe saying those things in the first place.
So, wait, so you don't love me?
Oh, Maddie, I think you are a great guy.
after this is where his life really starts to go downhill very fast. And you could say, well, that's his fault for quitting his job. And yeah, you'd be right. Like, don't do that shit. But try to see it from his perspective. Here's this insecure guy that was bullied and tormented his whole life. He probably never got any girls ever and had this girl that he was in love with in high school. And then once he graduates, she's suddenly throwing herself at him. Most guys in his position are going to do the exact same thing. So we fast forward a few months and Cricket is now homeless, relying on spare change from strangers. Suddenly, Dee and Charlie approach him and they try to convince him to sell this cocaine that they found on the street that belongs to the mob. That's a whole separate story, but just know that they're trying to convince Cricket to sell this cocaine, and Cricket is like, no, I'm not gonna do that. So Charlie says, how about this? If you sell these drugs for us, Dee will let you stay in her apartment. And of course he says yes, because he's been homeless for God knows how long. So having a place to stay where he can have some warm food, take a shower, even have a couch to sleep on sounds amazing. So he ends up selling the drugs for them. Awesome, right? Now that he was able to sell the drugs, he gets to go to Dee's apartment and have some food, take a shower, have a place to stay, right? Get some rest? No.
You did such a fantastic job that we're gonna need you to go back out there and do it again.
No, but you guys said it was a one-time thing,
We
and then
say
I'd be
things
done.
all day. We say
Yeah, we
words all
said
the
so
time.
many
to
things.
all
See, the
kinds
thing is,
of
I was
people.
thinking maybe I'd curl up on that bed of Dee's, and I'd sleep with the bear.
Now's not a good time for that, man.
tired.
Are you tired?
just so
Oh,
tired.
hey, check it out. I got the thing for you, man, right here.
What? Where'd
yeah,
you get
man.
that?
Hey, come on. Every good dealer keeps a head stash.
No.
You know that. Look,
No.
Look, Cricket, I got the thing for you here, man. Let's
No, I
speed you up, huh? And then you'll want to get back out there. Oh, yeah. Shh.
So not only is he still homeless, but he's a drug addict now. And this is where the pattern really starts of the Sunny gang asking Cricket for favors, and once he ends up holding his end of the deal, they end up screwing him over. And usually, these favors that they ask of him end up making his life significantly worse, while belittling him every single step of the way. The saddest part is that Cricket doesn't deserve any of it. He's never done anything bad to them. Every single horrible thing that they've done to him has been completely unprovoked. Like one day, Mac and Dennis decide that they want to be manhunters, right? So they lure Cricket to the bar by telling him that Dee wants to go on a date with him. Why he still wants to go on a date with Dee at this point is completely beyond me, but he goes. So this poor man's life has been completely ruined by them, and now he has to worry about them hunting him for sport. Eventually they find him in the street, but when they begin to chase him, Cricket gets away by displaying the most incredible athleticism, like athleticism that he for sure didn't have before. So like, what type of traumatic shit did he go through on the streets that he learned how to do that? Some time passes and it seems like things are looking up for Cricket. His life isn't good by any stretch of the imagination, but he looks cleaner, he looks like he might have gotten off drugs. But Mac and Charlie find him on the street and they promise to pay him if he wrestles at this event that they're setting up for the troops. And not only do they not pay him, but he almost dies because of them. Some time passes by and Frank tells Cricket that if he goes on this podcast that Dee and Dennis started, that he would give him a full rotisserie chicken. But once he shows up, Cricket is like, hey, where's the rotisserie chicken? And Frank is like, no, I don't have any chicken for you, but here, suck on these lemons instead. And of course, since Cricket is desperate and probably starving, he accepts it. Like, Frank is a millionaire, and after everything they've put Cricket through, like, he can't even give him a rotisserie chicken that he promised him to begin with. Also, Cricket's life seems to have gotten way worse after that trash can incident. His voice is now completely fucked. So Dennis is like, yo, what's going on with your voice? And also, tell me about your life, Cricket. Because remember, Dennis is doing this podcast with Dee, so he wants to get content. And the things that Cricket says that has happened to him is actually horrifying.
Oh, day in the life. Well, the other morning, I wake up, I find a dog sniffing at my wound. He's fully aroused, mind you. So I'm thinking, oh, great, what does this jerk want? Of course, I know what he wants. He's looking at me right in the eyes. He does not have to say it. Not that he could. I mean, does my scar look like a dog's vagina? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and try to get inside the mind of a dog. I mean, that's God's work. Well, not that I believe in God. I don't. Not since that Chinaman stole my kidney.
I know that the way that he explains the story is hilarious, but everything he's gone through is tragic as fuck. Like, his life was normal just a couple of years ago. And like, if you're thinking, poor guy, bro, I feel so bad for him. Like, I hope things get better for him. They don't. They get so much worse. Since then, we see Cricket get shot because he was in the Patty's Pub basement and he startled Dee and Frank. And the reason he was in the Patty's Pub basement to begin with, it was just because he was trying to get away from the rain. His drug addiction also seems to have gotten way worse, because now he has a fucked up eye and he's doing community service at a dog pound. And the reason that he has to do community service to begin with is insane. It's like legit crazy drug addict person shit.
Yeah, I got into a skirmish with a stray chocolate lab. I won't go into details, but suffice to say, that dog is very paralyzed now.
Then Dee and Dennis show up, and the reason that Dee and Dennis are in the pound to begin with is because they have to pull the plug on their grandpa, and they want to see what it feels like to put something down and choose to put something down. So when they tell Cricket like, hey, can we choose a dog to kill it? As they're trying to choose a dog, Cricket puts himself in a cage and he says,
Pick me.
What?
Put me down. Pick me. I deserve it.
He means that shit too. Like, after everything this poor man has gone through, he just wants to die. Okay, so you remember how I said in the beginning that these people make the lives of everybody that they interact with a lot worse? Yeah, that caught up to them. So then they invited everybody that they've ever wronged to the Thanksgiving dinner, and they try to squash the beef with everybody. And then when Cricket shows up, they're like, what the fuck are you doing here? And he's like, are you serious? What are you talking about? Look, you ruined my life. Of course, everything goes to shit during the dinner, and then everybody starts arguing with each other, and a fire starts in the apartment. So Dee, Frank, Dennis, Mac, and Charlie lock everybody inside the apartment. Nobody dies, but we see that the fire burned half of Cricket's face, and now he's completely disfigured, destroying any sort of hope of a normal life ever again. We also find out that he's been prostituting himself for drugs, money, food, even just beer sometimes. Pretty much anything that could bring him a scrap of comfort. His life is just so fucked, and I don't know what type of drugs he does, that he also has like sex and orgies with dogs, like just completely deranged crazy shit, and completely unrecognizable from the Cricket that we first met. The chance for a turning point for Cricket is when Cricket's dad finds him, and he tells Cricket that he wants him to get off the streets and take over the company, but that he has to lay off the drugs. And at first, it seems like Cricket might actually do it, might actually turn his life around. But we find out that he was still doing drugs. So even after his dad finds out, he decides to give him one more chance.
This is my last and final offer. You cut that bullshit out and come work with me, or you go back on the street and crawl back into that manure pile I found you in. So which is it? Huh?
Hey, Hey, you guys mind if I go in the bathroom and smoke some PCP?
Things might have been different if his dad would have shown up sooner. Maybe he could have saved him. But by this point, Cricket was too far gone. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please give a like and subscribe if you haven't. Have a good night, good time, good life.